Have you ever met someone who could convince anyone without sounding pushy, fake, or manipulative? Maybe it's that friend who always gets a yes when everyone else hears no, or that leader who speaks and people listen. You've probably wondered, what's their secret? Well, it's not luck, it's psychology. And today we're diving into how to influence people without manipulation, using science, empathy, and authenticity. Because true persuasion isn't about control, it's about connection. Most people mistake persuasion for manipulation. Manipulation is when you twist someone's thinking for your gain. Persuasion, though, real persuasion, is when your words resonate with truth. It's when your message aligns with someone's values, hopes, or fears. Every great communicator, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Steve Jobs, didn't force people to agree with them. They made people feel understood. And that's where influence begins, not in the mouth, but in the heart of the listener. The strongest persuaders are not great talkers, they're great observers. They notice body language, they listen before speaking, they sense what people truly want, not what they say they want. Social psychologists like Robert Cialdini spent decades studying persuasion. He found 6 universal triggers that shape human decisions. 1. Reciprocity. We return favors. 2. Commitment. Once we say yes, we stay consistent. 3. Social proof. We follow what others do. 4. Authority. We trust experts. 5. Liking. We agree with people we like. And 6. Scarcity. We want what's rare. Smart influencers use these principles ethically, not to deceive, but to deliver real value. For example, when a teacher praises your effort, you want to learn more. That's persuasion through positivity, not pressure. You don't need a stage or a suit to use persuasion. You use it every day when you ask your boss for a raise, explain your idea to a friend, or calm someone during an argument. Here's the secret. People don't buy ideas, they buy feelings. So if you want to influence someone, start by creating emotion, curiosity, trust, or hope. Instead of saying, "You should do this," say, "Imagine what would happen if we tried this." That single shift moves people from resistance to openness. And when you stay calm, confident, and clear, your energy persuades before your words even start. But here's the catch. Persuasion becomes dangerous when it loses its integrity. If your intention is selfish, even the best tactics turn manipulative. But if your goal is to create understanding, uplift others, or solve problems, then persuasion becomes leadership. The best persuaders never force, they invite. They never trick, they teach. And they never speak just to be heard, they speak to make a difference. So before trying to influence anyone, ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for us? That one question keeps your power pure. Here's something most people miss. The most persuasive messages are silent. Your tone, your posture, your facial expressions, they speak before your words ever do. A confident person doesn't need to shout, their calmness persuades. A sincere smile opens more hearts than 1,000 clever words. That's because our brain's mirror neurons mimic the emotions we see. When you radiate certainty, others feel it. When you're nervous or fake, they sense that too. So the next time you want to persuade someone, don't just plan what to say, plan how to be. Because who you are is often louder than what you say.
Persuasion isn't about a single conversation. It's about consistency over time. People trust patterns more than promises. If your words and actions match repeatedly, you build credibility. If they don't, you lose it instantly. Think about it. The people you trust the most didn't win you over in one talk. They earned your belief through honesty, reliability, and patience. The longer you stay consistent with your values, the the more powerful your influence becomes, even in silence. Because persuasion fades, but character lasts. In a world full of scripts, filters, and strategies, the most persuasive thing you can ever be is real. People are not stupid. They can sense authenticity faster than you think. You don't need fancy words or psychological tricks to win someone over. You just need to mean what you say. Think about it. When someone speaks from the heart, you don't analyze, you feel. That's real influence. It's when your energy aligns with your message, when your words and your actions tell the same story. The truth is, authenticity has a frequency. When you operate from truth, people don't just listen, they trust. And trust is the foundation of all persuasion. So stop trying to sound smart. Start trying to sound genuine. Because influence without authenticity is manipulation, but authenticity without agenda is power. Persuasion isn't just what you say. It's how your words land in the mind of the listener. Certain words trigger resistance. Others create openness. For example, when people hear "you should" or "you must," the brain instinctively pushes back. It feels like a threat to autonomy. But when you say, "What do you think about? Have you considered? Here's an interesting idea," the mind relaxes because choice feels safe. This is called autonomy framing. People are more persuaded when they feel in control, even when the outcome is the same. Another powerful shift is from certainty to curiosity. Instead of saying, "This is the best way," say, "What if there's a better way we haven't tried yet?" Curiosity disarms the ego. Certainty challenges it. The most persuasive communicators don't sound like they're winning an argument. They sound like they're inviting exploration. Because people don't want to be corrected. They want to feel intelligent for agreeing. Here's a truth most people ignore. Even the perfect message fails at the wrong time. Persuasion is deeply connected to emotional timing. A stressed mind can't absorb logic. An angry heart can't hear reason. That's why great influencers don't rush conversations. They wait for emotional windows. If someone feels respected, they listen. Calm, they think. Valued, they cooperate. Trying to persuade someone when they're overwhelmed is like planting seeds in a storm. Nothing sticks. That's why sometimes the most persuasive move is silence, or simply saying, "I understand how you feel," not as a tactic, but as truth. When emotions settle, influence becomes effortless, because people don't remember what you said, they remember how safe they felt when you said it. Timing turns words into wisdom. Mistiming turns wisdom into noise. Before you can influence others, there's one person you must persuade first: yourself. Your confidence, your certainty, your belief in what you're saying. Because persuasion leaks from the inside out. If you secretly doubt your message, people sense it. If you don't trust yourself, others won't either. This is called internal congruence, when your thoughts, emotions, and words align, and alignment is magnetic. The strongest persuasion happens when you don't need approval, you don't need validation, you don't need to convince. You're simply expressing truth. Ironically, the moment you stop trying to persuade, you become persuasive, because calm certainty is contagious, and belief doesn't argue, it radiates. If you want to influence the world, start by believing your own voice deserves to be heard. Think of persuasion like planting a seed. You don't shout at it to grow, you water it, give it sunlight, and wait. Real influence takes patience. You might not see results immediately, but your words, your actions, your authenticity, they stay. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't change hearts overnight. Steve Jobs didn't convince the world in a year, but both understood something timeless. If you speak truth with passion, people will eventually listen. So stop trying to be persuasive.
Start being understood. Because when your words come